This year we have 19 students. We have 11 returning seniors and 8 new students who have joined the group.
It's been pretty good. Working with these people is actually pretty fun.
I feel like we all just kept our skills over the summer, which I'm glad we did that.
Most of us know what we're doing by now and kind of what works for us. We're just moving a lot smoother, a lot more efficiently, and a lot less mistakes.
The seniors we have just really jumped into the mentorship role. We have 6 teams. We have seniors in charge of each team as they continue on the construction.
We're bringing in the newcomers. We had to teach them kind of what's going on, where we're at, because they're not starting from the beginning like we were last year. They're starting building the middle of the plane, so it's a little different.
They have a lot of knowledge from the previous year and coming back this year, telling us what they know and everything. Yeah, it goes like that.
They're more disciplined, they're more focused, they're better organized. Their leadership skills have just gone through the roof. I couldn't be happier. So last year, we began building at the tail of the aircraft, and we had done the horizontal and vertical stabilizers and the tail cone. As we've continued this year, we finished the cockpit assembly.
Then we did get the wing spars done as well, but we're just now getting to building the actual wings.
Can you get into that one up there? Or?
Yeah.
It means a great deal to be the first people to build and fly an airplane here on the Outer Banks since the Wright brothers.
The Wright brothers had this really novel idea that they called wing warping. Wilbur especially, he liked to watch birds in the sky, and he noticed that their wings would twist and warp in the air. And then one day at the bicycle shop, he just happened to sell an inner tube to a customer and had an empty inner tube box in his hands. And he starts twisting it, and he noticed that he can make something box-shaped, do this kind of twisting motion in the air. And then he sort of applied that to a box-shaped kite, which then became a glider and eventually a plane. You know, the first time that they came down here to Kitty Hawk in the year 1900, they mainly flew their glider as a kite in the air. And while the glider didn't perform perfectly, Wilbur and Orville were overall, they were pretty pleased. It was really just solidifying the idea that they were on the path to success. Getting ready for their second year, they really took what they learned from the first year and then expanded on it, which was not as successful as they'd hoped. Granted, it was still wildly successful in terms of gliding. You know, they were gliding up to 400 feet at a time, but for Wilbur and Orville's perfectionist eyes, it wasn't good enough. So then they went back to the drawing board again. They actually built a wind tunnel and just created this opportunity to test all sorts of different types of wing shapes, airfoils. And then with that new knowledge, coupled with what they learned about wing warping and control, they were able to produce the 1902 glider, which was the best of all of them. That was the glider they broke all the records with. Aviation has evolved past this wing warping system, but those fundamentals of how to control your flight, they're definitely still there.
Now we're deburring and kind of trimming the wing ribs, which is what's inside of the wings.
We have 3 teams in the lab, and we're working in 3 parallel efforts. We have 2 teams who are completing the main ribs, but our 3rd team right now at the same time is in parallel getting ahead and adding those main ribs to our port wing as we begin that building process. With the completion of the wings, the main first chunk of the airplane is complete. We're looking at some landing gear assembly, some flight control assembly is what we have next in the aircraft build sequence as we go through.
All right, look at your first mass.
I'm looking forward to finishing it. I want to get in this thing.
Being able to fly in it and watching it fly around and being like, I built that, I did that.
The senior class, those 11, will have built the first aircraft at Kill Devil's Hill since the Wright brothers did in 1903. And that's something that's really important for those 11 to have that in their stories as they go forward.